Hello, it's T again. Today I'm adding a little bit more depth and giving a setting to JungleClan. JungleClan is a clan of warrior cats who are generally known for being affectionate and respected. In my last video, I designed JungleClan cats, which I'll link in the description and end card. I did the clan generator challenge using the perchance generator. You don't have to watch that to be here though, I'm just doing a funky little map, and I'll explain everything about the clan that you need to know here so it hopefully doesn't leave any gaps. JungleClan here is a tiny clan with very few cats left in it. The clan only has 13 cats in present day, including elders. This is partly because there have been no new kids born in the clan in a very long time, but also because of a Caiman that's taken over their main hunting grounds. The hunting grounds are called Slickwater Swamps, and they take up a very big part of their territory. This is their main source of prey and medicinal herbs. The Caiman attack started as a bit of a mystery, cats going on hunting patrols alone and not returning. When the clan's medicine cat went missing, things got dire. Ravenpelt, a fierce senior warrior of JungleClan, was the cat who discovered the Caiman. She witnessed the death of former warrior Redfall. Anyway, the point is, this Caiman has made hunting a very dangerous activity if you're anywhere near Slickwater. Anyhow, even though Slickwater Swamps are kind of the focal point of JungleClan's drama, I'm not sure drama is the right word, but, well, I don't have another one. Even though the swamps are the focal point of JungleClan's drama, they have to have other parts to their territory as well. I originally started this map as a way to give myself reference for an animation I'm planning, and I won't give too much of the story away here. I do have big plans for that though, but I actually got really into it after a while, and I started to get into the flow of drawing some landscape stuff, and at that point I almost didn't want to stop. It ceased to be just for animation backgrounds and to give myself a general idea of landscape layout. I just started to have fun, honestly. Something I will mention is that I think this map is a little overly detailed. I guess that's the trouble with working so zoomed in, is that when you zoom out you're like, whoa there, holy shit, I can't tell what anything is. But to be honest, I don't think I would change it because I think it gives a nice idea of what things look like in the cat's perspective when you zoom in. It gives you a bit more to go off of than just camp in this general area, you know? And not that that's a bad thing, but that was what was important to me when making this map. I will say that it took me absolute ages though, I'm not sure I'd recommend doing this much. I'll go through some of these areas in more detail as I draw them, and explain a little bit more about them. I love just describing these places I'm vaguely drawing and giving a better sense of the general atmosphere I'm kind of going for with all of them. I apologize in advance if the speed paint doesn't totally match up with the audio, I'll try my best to make it though. Anyway, here we go. JungleClan's camp is a large place, located on a cliffside and mainly in one very old tree. The medicine den is located nearby the waterfall, with hanging lichen and moss draped over its entrance and plenty of room inside for sick cats. The leader's den is on one of the high branches of the tree, within the leaves themselves. The nursery is in the crook of the tree, in a rotted out knot that's been scraped away to make a safe haven for kits. They are nearest to the toppled tree, so they can make their way down safely to water and for clan meetings. The warriors are welcome to sleep either along the cliffside or within the tree branches, and the apprentice den is behind a bush along the cliffside opposite the medicine den. Elders stay nearby the nursery, but a bit higher up in the tree. JungleClan's camp was chosen because of the toppled tree and the fact that it is so close to the cliffside. The fallen tree makes an easy pathway into and out of camp for cats who may not be able to jump yet or as far, and the cliffside provides shelter from wind and rain as well as space for dens. There is also the added bonus that during the day, the rock soaks up warmth from the sun so cats can lounge on the rocks and enjoy the warmth. It's safe from flooding and predators due to its location. The drawbacks would include its height and injuries kits can suffer if they fall. Because of this, JungleClan has a strict system in place teaching and monitoring kits while they learn to climb, pretty much as soon as they learn to walk. The forest. Dense forest makes up the majority of JungleClan's territory. Trees grow close together here, and the canopy provides shade from the treetops all the way to the jungle floor. There isn't too much to say about the main jungle in their territory. It works well as a hunting ground, and cats have to learn from a very young age how to be able to navigate through the forest. One of the main ways they do this is by following the sun, stars, or the streams that run through the jungle. Because JungleClan's territory is so large and wild, it's easy for new apprentices to get lost, so they're accompanied by a mentor longer than you would think. I ended up copy-pasting some of JungleClan's trees. I couldn't be bothered to draw all of them, and this map is a bit too detailed as is. I still ended up filling in a lot of the edges and flipping the images a lot to not make it too obvious. I think it also kind of accidentally made it look more consistent than it otherwise would have, so that's cool. Slickwater swamps are a series of stagnant water pools fed into by a stream that comes down from starfalls. They are filled with algae and slick water flora floating on top of the still water. There are many long fallen trees resting in the midst of the swamps and alongside the banks. This and the many scattered rocks makes it an ideal place for many small creatures to live. It's a plentiful area, and there is usually enough forest debris clogging up the water that cats can hop easily from plant to rock to sunken log in pursuit of their prey. The swamps are a warm and noisy place, filled with the song of birds, croak of frogs, and the noise of 1,000 insects. The canopy is more open over the top of the swamps, so this area gets more sun than the rest of the rainforest floor. It makes an ideal hunting ground both at night and during the day. The understory around these parts is thick and covered in large leafy plants and vines, to the point where it's difficult to walk through on the forest floor. Luckily, because of how close the trees are, cats can simply walk from one branch to the next. Warriors actually still do go down to slickwater swamps. They just go in groups and often have a lookout. But it is very dangerous with the Caiman around, and things have gone very wrong before. I was originally going to try to match the warrior cats maps in the books, but then I realized that I just could not do that without spending absolute ages on it, and I'm also not too great at drawing in that style anyway, so I just sort of did my own thing. I'm happy with how it turned out, though. The forest makes up a really big part of JungleClan, and I apologize for all the time that I spend just drawing forest and scrubland, or I guess it's not really scrubland, I don't know another word for it though. Just the general areas around JungleClan's forest. The clearing is an oddly empty area near the edge of the tree line. It's filled with sand and soft ferns, the rocks there being smoother. Perhaps at one time it held water, but it does not anymore. Either way, it makes an ideal place to train in fighting without having to worry too much about losing your footing and falling on something dangerous. Cats actively try to keep this area clear, but the soil there is naturally more sandy and not as rich, so plants do not grow as plentifully anyway. The clearing is one of the first places that apprentices are shown when they get mentors and venture outside the camp for the first time. It's also conveniently located near the end of one of the streams that comes down from Starfalls, making it easy to get water during a tough day of training. The burnout is a strip of territory that divides the JungleClan and Leaf Clan borders. A forest fire roared there, just a bit too long in the past for any elder in the clans to remember. Nearly all the old trees died out in the fire, burning too fast and too hot to leave anything surviving. Old charred logs and stumps can still be seen in this area of the forest, and some of the stones remain coal-blackened. It's an interesting place, now having overgrown quite a lot as the forest recovers. All the plant life there is short, and the young trees still have a lot of growing to do before they match the rest of the forest. Oddly, the nutrients put back into the soil from the burn have made this one of the greenest areas of the forest in any season. It's a very bright place, now brimming with life. Trees that sprout there thrive rather than struggling in the shadow of their older counterparts, fighting for a patch of sun. It currently belongs to Leaf Clan, JungleClan having lost it in a battle after they started to shrink because of the Caiman attacks. Starfalls is the place where medicine cats and clan leaders go to be closest to StarClan. It's a very high waterfall bubbling up from a deep spring near the top. Rocky ledges make it a relatively simple climb up, even though its height is intimidating. This only changes during bad weather and storms, when the rocks become slippery from the rainfall or there is danger of being blown off balance. Cats commune with StarClan at the top of the falls, where they have a vantage point of all the clan territories, as well as a good view of the night sky. They drink from the water before lying down beneath rocky ledges shaded with long strips of lichen. The springs at the top of Starfalls are crystal clear, giving an optical illusion about the depth. It makes it very dangerous to swim or fish there, though the prey is plentiful. What looks like a few feet of depth is often at least 20. The air is cooler near the top of Starfalls at night, to the point where medicine cats of differing clans often put aside any rivalries and sleep under the same ledge or overhang to share warmth. The moss blanket is a beautiful section of forest covered in hanging and creeping mosses and lichens. It's a notoriously damp place, but never gets to the point of holding standing water unless there's a flood. It constantly seems to carry a damp, misty hue around it, making trees and tangled roots indistinct in the distance. Animal calls carry weirdly here, muffled by the fog and echoing off the damp trees and earth. It's a dim place, the canopy of the jungle trees so thick overhead that only the occasional lance of sunlight will manage to slice through and cut a path through the mist to the gnarled, rot-softened roots of the jungle floor. Few cats come here other than apprentices fetching clean, wet moss. However, Yellowstar is one of the cats who does. The place oddly calms her down. Leading a rapidly shrinking clan can be overwhelming to even the strongest leader, and she would not consider herself among them. So, that's it for the detailed descriptions of the areas. I'm probably going to breeze through the rest of this a bit. I ended up coloring in a lot of the map by hand because one drawback of using the FireAlpaca marker tool is that filling doesn't work great. Plus, I didn't really keep solid lines in mind when drawing this map. I know that the actual Warriors maps are very detailed and shaded and whatnot, but I'm not shading this. No way. I did want to color in the different areas to make it stand out more though. The lightest color I ended up picking for the water and swampland, next for the rocks, then for the grass, and the darkest for trees and plants. I'm pretty happy with how it worked out. I had a lot of fun giving a setting to my Warriors clan. It also helped me visualize better how I'm going to make the scenes and story fit together in my plans for the future. I think it would be a neat challenge if people designed a map based on their Warriors clan, but I don't know, maybe that's just a me thing. If you think it sounds fun, I mean, give it a go, you know? Either way, I had a good time, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. By the way, thank you so much for the support on my last video. Whenever you guys leave comments, it motivates me so much to keep doing this kind of thing, and I may even do another clan generator challenge and design a Leaf clan just for the heck of it. The amount of support is kind of nuts, and it's still giving me whiplash, honestly, but thank you all so much. If you have suggestions or other challenges you'd like to see me do, or even just thoughts on this map, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thank you, bye-bye.